Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Shut Door or Doorshutter, coming back to you with a brand new episode of the Direwolf20 1.20 mod pack. Today is episode 62, and as you can see behind me, I've made some changes. So, I know I was kind of talking about how we can improve this whole bee setup, and overall, um, I would need a lot more bees than this, okay? Let's be truthful. The amount of bees here is not enough to sustain this many chemical oxidizers. Not even those four, really, that we had originally. Um, this is still not really sustainable. There's not a whole lot of the sulfur dioxide going in here to make a sulfur trioxide. And so we could probably double this over and over and over until we find the perfect amount. I have no idea how much the perfect amount is, but I've got to the point where we are gaining more sulfur dust than using it, which is exactly where I want to be, okay? And the reason that is a good thing is because if we wanted to, we could now put more chemical oxidizers down and also, of course, then get the ability to produce more sulfur dioxide. Okay, I'm not going to do that right now. We could totally do that off camera, but I just wanted to make you aware. So, how did I make this better? Okay, first things first, these all have 3 productivity gamma upgrades. Of course, we can't get the next tier. We'll work on that probably in the future. The one thing I can do, though, is be a little sneaky with Industrial Foregoing Souls, because, Industrial Foregoing Souls is fantastic. Ooh. Wait. Hold up. Is this connected side by side now? Hold on. I must test. I actually did not know about this, if this is actually operating like I think it is. Yes, it is. Okay, so this actually connects now. Hold on, I gotta look at something real quick. I want to go check the update logs for Industrial Foregoing Souls. Alright, so I did just confirm in 1.0.3 of Industrial Foregoing Souls, this is actually a new feature where they actually connect to each other, which is fantastic. So I don't actually need all of these pipes here. We can just straight up do that. Did not realize that when I was placing them. Kind of just placed them in haste. So that is awesome. I love that feature. It's very simple, but it's a very good feature to have. So we're not using as many of those soul cables as well, whatever they're called, soul pipes. So that is awesome. Okay, anyway, this is working. Okay, we've got a whole bunch of speed basically put into these, and it is producing enough to keep this drawer pumping. Okay, so we could put more chemical oxidizers, which we could then increase this whole other range of setup. Another thing I've done is I've actually got these entangler actually set up for hydrogen and oxygen down here. This is what actually I originally created the room for, and then I put that guy down here as well. But we've got oxygen, we've got hydrogen, we've got separate channels just in case we need them in the future. Nothing too terrible there. We've got, of course, the hydrofluoric acid, which is currently going into the entangler on the hydro one here, which is awesome. So we've got tons and tons of goodies, right? That's one thing that is very apparent. We are getting a lot of things done here. Looks like we've actually ran through all of our raw ore. Okay, what is happening here? For some reason, I keep getting glass bottles and stuff thrown in here, but they aren't connected. These have filters. These had filters. Don't know where the filters actually went. They just had filters on them. Okay. Well, we'll fix that issue real quick so we can keep going. Make sure this isn't an issue over here. Doesn't look like it is. Looks like we're not pulling things out, though. Looks like apparently this broke. So let's disable this side, enable this, do that. Grab honey bottles, honeycombs. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I think whatever I updated, and I've updated twice in the last episodes. So I just updated before starting this, and then I updated, I believe, on Saturday whenever I kind of let this idle. So, I guess updates kind of broke some stuff. That's fine. We've got it fixed. Okay. So we should, of course, now be cruising. We still got 4.2 thousand raw in there. So let's get into the next part here, right? Let's look at what we need to do to get uranium oxide. So uranium oxide is actually going to take the yellow cake uranium, which is in taking actual uranium ingots and making them into yellow cake. Okay, so let's get some chamber. So we want the enrichment chamber. Let's go for 2 of these. Let's grab some tier upgrades real quick. So that is 2. And we may do more than 2, but for right now, I don't think that's really necessary. Okay, so basic, advanced, elite, and then ultimate. Let's throw this in here, throw that stuff in there. Okay, and then the chamber. Probably should grab both of those real quick. So what we're going to do, I guess we could really get more than 2, but we'll start off with 2. So let's get this placed over here, because I think this is where we got enough space. Oh, also, quickly, before I forget, gas upgrades. This is something we could look at real quick. Gas upgrades are fantastic overall because they will actually increase the efficiency of the sulfuric acid that's in here. So let's quickly do that, because I forgot to do this last episode. But we should be able to auto-craft. The gas upgrades get 6 more of them, because 8 is the max. We'll let that craft up here. Perfect. And then we can toss them into the chemical dissolution chamber. So there's only certain machines that those will go with, by the way. This is one of them, the chemical dissolution chamber. Most of the other machines we've touched do not have any involvement with it, just so you're aware. I went ahead and I actually double-checked that before starting this, but we should have a little bit more bang for our buck with the sulfuric acid. Okay, so let's get this placed, do basic, advanced, elite, ultimate, basic, advanced, elite, ultimate, and then let's get these set up. So I'm thinking what I want to do is just get an entangled block, or we could do an entangleporter. This actually might be a better idea to transfer some items. So let's actually do that. I don't think I've ever actually used these for item transportation, but that's probably not a bad option. So let's actually try that out. So let's go here. Let's go uranium ingot. Might spell uranium wrong, but that's fine. So we're going to say clear input is on the left. Okay, and I don't know how much storage this has, but we're going to try it. We're just going to see. So we're going to do, of course, input on the right. And that should hopefully output. Not seeing if it is. Of course, this side's still a little finicky. But I definitely could put these soul surge pipe things on these actual uranium bees too. It would crank it. That's one of the things with Investo foregoing souls, is it is significantly better to put stuff on. Except for just make sure you're running a weaker machine, you might, or weaker computer, you might have some issues because it does accelerate the ticks, which does cause lag occasionally. So keep that in mind. So let's grab at least 2 more entangleporters because I just used both of them. And what I think we could do is actually put the entangleporter here. So we're going to do items, output on the bottom, auto eject. Okay. Hopefully that's working. Well, actually, I don't think it is. Okay, what am I doing wrong here then? So item input. Okay. Item input. Let's try doing a puller, maybe? I'm not 100% sure on this one. This is a bit strange because I've just never done this before, as I've said. So let's try a puller upgrade. So let's go on the up direction. Still no movement. Okay. That's fine. Let's just switch this back. Unless we want to try doing some sort of pipe, maybe. Because I would love to have this not be entangled blocks that much. The thing is with entangled blocks, of course, is it does cause a little bit of issues with lag and stuff in the future. So I think we'll do it because we haven't really used them that much. We'll risk it here. Let's see. Where is my entangled binder? So we're gonna take the entangled binder. We're gonna do that here and then here, and then that should give us output. Okay, so we're gonna output it into that drawer, and then let's see if we can actually remove, because I think items didn't go in there even, so I've got 3 different IDs on those, but that's fine. Okay, so what we probably want to do now is get pusher upgrades, because of course the mechanism things don't like things being pushed into them, or being pulled into them, because they need something to push into them, is what I mean. Let's get some more hoppers there. Okay, so we're going to do a pusher. So we're going to say west, east. So that should work. Okay, we probably need to get a flux point and some sort of cable. At mechanism. Yeah, I definitely can't shorthand as much as I would like with AE2 right now, because like at mech cable usually used to bring up the actual ultimate cables and stuff, but apparently it doesn't do that anymore. It's kind of a learning curve, and I still keep forgetting. And maybe that's never been that way. Maybe it's because I always use refined storage. That might be the case in all honesty, but hey, who knows? Okay, so we're getting yellow cake uranium. Let's get some upgrades here. Perfect. So with yellow cake uranium, we are producing that first step towards getting uranium oxide. So let's get a drawer. And we're actually going to try and put this drawer here. How do I want to do this? Probably just grab pipes then. But then it limits us. That's the issue. So let's do this. Just straight up out of the top. Not the prettiest, but it'll work. So we're going to output on top. Output on top. And then let's grab some pipe upgrades. So there's yellow cake uranium being produced at a pretty decent rate. Not too fast, not too slow. And then we're going to want the chemical uranium oxide, right? So uranium oxide is chemical oxidizer. So chemical oxidizer. Here and here. Let's grab... I should just go auto-craft these pusher and puller upgrades real quick. Let me be right back. Okay, so those are auto-crafted. So what we're going to do now is just install, go west, go east. Doesn't really matter which one is which. That is perfect. And then what we can do is we can probably run these cables down here. Can I just type in cable to grab mech? Okay, I can. That'll make things easier. So we're just going to do this. Oop, not that. Switch this to wrench. Oop. Forget that it can wrench machines completely. Forgot about that. Goodness gracious. The step assist still... Man, there are some things that I really wish I didn't have. What gives me step assist? I genuinely don't remember that my chest plate gives me step assist. Okay. Yeah, that step height, it's good whenever I need it, but I don't need it right now, that's for sure. Trying to get into like small corners, it throws you off. Okay, anyway, throw some functional storage upgrades onto this as well. That should be good. And then on this one, we just need to probably make sure we're doing input. And then output's probably going to be on the top again. Actually, output is not going to be an item. So we're just going to do input and then output, nothing on the top. We'll do output for gas is on the front, because we're just going to do some chemical tanks here, I'm pretty sure. Or entangleporters. Probably entangleporters, actually. Entangleporters are fantastic. So let's do entangleporter onto the ground, probably, because I want to see the amount of yellow cake uranium. So let's grab a couple chemical tanks, so 2 of these. I think these are pressurized tubes, right? So we're going to put a tube there, tube there. We're going to create UO, uranium oxide. Create. And then for that, we're going to clear on items. We're just going to clear on this. We're going to say input, input. Perfect. So then ultimate. Make sure we grab both of them. So this will be uranium oxide. Perfect. And then on the bottom, so on the back, we're going to do input. On the bottom, we're going to do output. Input, output. And then that should be good. We're flowing into that. Okay. So that is uranium oxide. We've got hydrofluoric, what is it called? Hydrofluoric acid. We've got the uranium oxide. What we should now be able to do is get a chemical infuser. So then set this up, and I think we could just set the chemical infuser right here. I know this is a little everywhere and a little unorganized, but that's okay. That's how this is going to be. So we're going to set the chemical infusers here. Actually, I think the chemical infusers probably need to be like this, just to make it a little bit easier to understand in a sense. So porter, we're just going to grab this. Actually, we're going to grab all 4 of these, however many we have in here. So we're going to need one on every side. Because, of course, you can't set multiple channels on one. So we're going to say on this one, it's going to be the uranium oxide. Okay, so that is there. And then let's get these set here real fast as well. So gas. So we're going to say input 1 is on the left. Input 2 is on the right. And then output will be here. And we could probably do another entangleporter. That's not a terrible idea. So let's do the exact same thing here. So items, nothing. Here, let's do input right. Or input 1 is on left. Input 2 is on right. And then on the back, let's do output. So that way we can kind of funnel these both into the same porter or pipe or something like that. Whatever we're going to push it into. So let's get these set. So this is hydrofluoric acid on the left. Okay. So let's make sure that's outputting. Auto eject. Okay. And then here, let's do the exact same thing. Hydro, set, gases, output, auto eject. Fantastic. And then uranium oxide here on the right side. Set, output on the left. Gases, not items. Okay. Is that proper? Oh, auto eject. Forgot to do that. That's okay. Uranium oxide on the right, set, gases, input, output. There we go. Auto eject on. So that should now be making the proper stuff. All right. So let's get back into this. I had to step away for a second there. So we are getting the universal, or the ultimate chemical tank here. Because we're going to do storage. And then we're going to also, of course, need to get a flux point to get these powered. Okay. I think what I'll actually do is I'll grab 2 flux points here. Just because I want to be able to put a porter right where I'm standing. So let's just do... I guess I need to set these, right? Might not be a bad option. There we go. And then we'll grab the ultimate tank. Okay. And then the porter. So this will be... What was this one? Uranium hexafluoride. So this is what we're going to be using for the isotopic centrifuge. Isotopic centrifuge. Okay, so this is kind of where our whole reactor stuff is going to start going. Okay, so next episode we will be getting into building a reactor and being able to actually get nuclear waste, which is our kind of main goal, to then get plutonium, polonium, all of that stuff, because we're gonna want an what is it? SQS chamber. Let's just look up antimatter. So we're gonna want antimatter pellets. Okay, that's kind of where we're going towards. Is this whole antimatter, all of this different stuff set up? Because we're also gonna want the this thing, the whatever in the world nucleosynthesizer thingy. Because this actually allows for you to convert stuff with antimatter. And the way I'm trying to go about getting the Hearts of the Sea. Well, actually, is it even in here anymore? Because we want to go about getting, this thing right here. So getting antimatter plus a nether star gives you Heart of the Sea, and that is fantastic. Okay, that's what we're kind of trying to get this for. So we need, of course, the anti-nucleosynthesizer thingy-mabobber, which requires antimatter pellets first off, and then, of course, antimatter in general, which antimatter is made with SPS. Okay, so it's SPS, not SMS or SQS. So the SPS thing, which is a whole multi-block we'll get into, but we also need polonium, which is actually used, or actually gotten by nuclear waste. Nuclear waste is gotten by a reactor. Okay, so we're basically going to be converting that into polonium, and the polonium will give us all of the fancy stuff that we could ever need. Okay, that is awesome. Okay, and are you outputting? You might not be inputting. There we go. Let's do it that way. So that should be working. So let's set this to UH. Set. And then here at the top for gases, we're just going to make sure we're on input. Clear everything else. And that should be good. Okay. So in the next episode, we're going to get into the reactor. We're going to get into doing all of the fissile fuel, which is the isotopic centrifuges, and getting all of the reactor casings and the turbine, and all of that stuff, so we can actually make sure we're getting our bang for our buck. It may be a little bit of a longer episode because it's just going to take a while to build all the multi-blocks and all of that stuff, but I think we've got a decent foundation for this. I don't think we're really having too many issues with the sulfuric acid. Now we've got a backlog. This is a good thing. We're getting a backlog. We, of course, could get more chemical oxidizers and everything like that to just improve the overall sulfuric acid production. We might in the future, but for right now, I think we're good. We've got 131,000. Man, that is nuts. Okay. But yeah, with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome. I can't wait to see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.